was there, a message came through the radio shack that all regular Navy officers, which I was, have been indefinitely extended, sort of like what they're doing in Vietnam and Iraq today. So I thought, I liked the Navy. I was having a good time, and even under those austere conditions, I was having great experiences. And I thought, maybe I'll think of a career, but I don't want to stay in the surface fleet. I'll either do flight or submarines. And flight was 5.5 years. I was obligated for 3. And flight was 5.5, and submarines was another year, which would make it 4. So I said, well, rather than do the big plunge for flight, maybe I'll do the submarines. So I did the tests, the decompression chamber tests, and all that stuff, and the physical, which the physical, in fact, was a flight physical, plus better hearing. And you had to do the decompression chamber, which I did in the Philippines, on a diving barge. And I went to sub school, and I completed sub school, and I have a story about that, about hitting bottom in Long Island Sound, but that's for another story. Okay. So I reported I was actually during sub school, and maybe I'll diversify a little bit here. I was one of the few non-Naval Academy guys there. There's probably 90% Naval Academy and 10% others, and I was one of the others. I was maybe rousing for Northwestern. And all the Naval Academy guys were breathing hard because they wanted to get orders to go down and interview Admiral Pig Over. He was the father of the nuclear Navy. And I didn't want to get those orders because it turned out submarine school was pretty chicken shit, sort of like PB at the Naval Academy. But I got them. And I declined the orders. And I was the first guy out of sub school who ever refused to go down and visit the Admiral.
Wow.
And the reason is that at that point in time, because submarine school was really disappointing chicken shit, and I was engaged to be married, and I decided I was going to get out of the Navy and do something else. I didn't want to get obligated for up to 9 years, which is what MOOC school would have been. And so I declined the orders, and I spent the whole morning in the executive officer, sub-school executive officer, saying, "What are you doing? What's the deal here?" You know? Anyway, I declined the orders, and I graduated from sub-school, and I was assigned to a submarine on the West Coast Pomfret, SS 391, which is where I asked for duty. It was after a winter in New London, Connecticut. My choices were number 1, back to San Diego, number 2, Hawaii, and number 3, Key West. So you see what I thought about operating out of New London or Norfolk. So I got my assignment. And to digress further, a number of years after that, after I'd gone to law school, I'd moved to Lake Forest. I received a big envelope in the mail from the Bureau of Personnel. And they were cleaning out all the paper files and putting them on microfiche. And the envelope was the paper that they cleaned out of my record. And I put it on the corner of my desk. And I was there for a month or two, and then it was winter one night on a weekend evening. I had a fire in the fireplace. It was cold outside. I thought, well, I think I'll go up and look and see what's in that envelope. And the envelope was about 3 inches thick. And an inch and a half of that was messages back and forth between Rick Over and Sub-School about this recalcitrant son of a bitch. What's with this guy?
That's so cool. Do you still got the papers?
No,
You burned them in the fireplace?
Yeah, I should have saved him, actually. So those are history. I don't know what they put on microfiche, if they carried that forth or not. I don't know what's in my record in Washington because I don't check it anymore because I'm retired. Henry's, Captain U.S. Navy. And the Navy was reluctant to do what he was pressing for in Congress. And, I mean, he stepped on a lot of people. You know, he was not a popular guy. And he was a son of a bitch with his office. Hyman Rickover, Hymen. Hyman Rickover, Admiral Hyman Rickover.
What a name for a man. I feel sorry for him. He must have had a lot of jokes when he was brought up with the female genitalia.
Well, it was spelled differently. and I think Hyman was a relative common Jewish male name at the time. So, it's probably fallen out of favor for that reason. Well, I can see you can do certain jokes, but you pass certain boundaries and then it doesn't work.